Yeah, I can't believe we're already like halfway through. It's crazy how fast time flies.
More than halfway at this point.
All right, friends, it is 7:02 and we're gonna get started. Hopefully we'll have a couple more people trickle in as the night goes on. But for those of you who are here tonight, our guests, thank you guys so much for attending our fourth, I think, official General Assembly meeting of the semester. It's great to have all of you guys here. As the president of RSA, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is 7:03 on the 27th of October, Tuesday. First order of business is to call roll to establish quorum. Madam Vice President, can you please call the roll to establish quorum? And students, if you guys could fill out the attendance poll that's listed on the slide right here. I'll pop the link in the chat.
Yes, and I will now call the roll. So when I call the name of your cab, your lead representative should say here, followed by the number of voting members present for your cab. So I know that's been a little confusing in the past. So one member would say here and say how many of your cab members are present in the meeting today. And then once you do that, state your answer to our attendance question that's posted on the slide, which is, if your cab was a superhero, what would your superpower be? Okay, so we'll start with George Reed. Anyone from George Reed? Okay, Independence. Going twice? Okay. James Smith, Thomas McKean.
Here and 2 members present.
Okay.
And I think if we were I don't really know what superhero we would be. Our superpower could be like, maybe like telepathy.
Oh, I like it. Telepathy is pretty cool. All right, we can move to our CDC members. So
Here, I guess, I don't know, the CDC has a superpower, but I guess it would be telepathy because we have insane coordination. How's that?
no, I love that. Hey,
Ryan, can you corroborate?
Awesome. And e-board members, what superpower would we be? Connor, I see an X. Was that for this question?
Yes, I think I can speak for all of us where we'd like to have the power to stop time. So we can have more time for ourselves.
So good. That is, I feel like Ryan would take way too much advantage of that, but that's okay. Anyway, cool. So right now we have one cab present with representatives, and a quorum has unfortunately not been established. Yeah. Ryan, I yield the floor.
Thank you all for indulging in the attendance question. Hopefully we'll have some more people from George Reed and Indy come on as the night goes on. But thank you, Abby, and welcome to all of our GA members and guests. Director of Finance and Director of Advocacy, will you please update the General Assembly on the status of the CAB programming and advocacy grants? I don't think TJ is here tonight, so I'll give his update. There are currently no programming grants that are pending, and we currently have $2,000 for CAB students to use.
All right, and there are no student advocacy grants pending, and we currently have $1,000 for residents to use for a student advocacy grant.
Alrighty, thank you guys so much. with that said, today we are going to be talking about in-hall programming, which is a very, very exciting topic. As you guys know, RSA's like core values are advocacy and programming. So we do a lot and we support a lot of students, as we kind of just discussed, through our like grants and then also through our experiences as former members of community advocacy boards, helping you guys and mentoring you guys. So we wanted to spend some time today to do kind of like a recap of some ideas and introduce some things to consider when you are planning in-hall programs, and give you guys a chance at the end of the meeting today to kind of share some things that you are working on related to advocacy and programming. So I wanted to sort of start off this like introduction with just talking and having a brief group discussion on why we program, right? So on the slide here, we have a bunch of different pictures from a bunch of different programs that RSA sponsored back when we were in person on campus. And I wanted to pose two like key questions to the groups. And for some of you who attended the Space Out presentation, these questions are going to be familiar. But why do we attend programs and why do we lead programs, right? So kind of thinking on both sides of the coin, right? As students at UD, why would you, take time out of your day to go attend a program? And then putting on our like student leader hat, why would we put on, right, a program for students? What are the goals and what are the things that we think about when we do those things? So I want to yield the floor to you guys. If you want to throw some X's in the chat, if you have any ideas to share with the group, we can go from there. Starting with anyone? Rock team?
So from the Space Out presentation, I remember this. I guess like I attend programs at least just because they're fun and interesting, and either I have time to kill or I'm really stressed or I just want to see what's happening. And like, why would you lead a program? I think it's honestly for that exact reason. Like, not only do you want to have the enjoyment of experiencing bringing something cool together, but you want to give other people the experience to de-stress or to serve just any kind of general need that they'll have. And like, I remember we talked about this, like serving the needs of the community. That was a really big thing.
Absolutely. And I like how you kind of tied some ideas of advocacy into it as well, like understanding your audience and what the community needs and bringing those things to the table in the form of some type of program that gets people out of their rooms and into common spaces. So love it. Annabelle.
I was just gonna say what you kind of just said, Ryan, about the idea of like getting out of your room, because I know like even like when the dining hall had just had like the little outdoor fall thing the other day, where it was like an activity like where they just had donuts outside. It got so many people out of their rooms and actually doing something, because I know especially like while being online, it's really easy to be cooped up inside all day without like having anything to do. So I think having something actually exist makes a lot of people want to go out and like kind of interact with their community. Also, like it's a good opportunity for a lot of people to meet people, especially because I know like even with like floor events that I've had, a lot of my friends I've like gotten from those sort of things. And I think why we lead program is that exact reason, in order to help like build a community. And like even like the small things, like we had done like the voting, like the civic duty voting thing table in front of James Smith the other day, and so many people like came out to that and saw that, which was good. So like it was something with a message, but it was also like something kind of fun just to get people out.
Absolutely. Like now more than ever, right? Like all of us are kind of like cooped up in our little like, four-walled like boxes, right? Just like staying on the computer all day. So it's nice to have an excuse, right, to leave your room, something to look forward to. Any other like comments on this from other CAB members or from our executive board? Anything? Take one more if anyone else wants to speak up. All right. Well, with that, then we'll move on to key considerations. Oh, Devin, I'll give you a chance to speak.
Sorry, I keep private messaging people the wrong things. Like I just sent an X to Jordan by accident. But I was just gonna say like it's really good to meet new people, like even just having floor meetings or like I'm in James Smith, so like meetings with James Smith like floors, it's just really good to meet new people with like COVID and everything because we can't travel to the other dorms or anything. So I've just made a lot of new friends from those type of events.
Yeah, one of our other cab members, Anna from George Reed, she said the exact same thing at our meeting last week, how it's like really challenging to meet people in like this environment. So like, once again, it's kind of an excuse to get people together. So love that we're kind of converging on these common themes. So now that we kind of like understand, why from both sides of the coin we're programming activities, want to start to move in and think about some key considerations for when we're programming. So with that, I'm going to yield to Connor.
Hello, everyone. So when planning a program, there's some really important things to think about. As the 5 listed here are some things that me and the board felt were super important to talk to you about. So the first one will be marketing. And especially in this COVID environment, it's very hard to do marketing because you're going to have to maybe do some non-traditional types. So like you could be even as easy as putting a poster up in the hallways saying what your event's going to be, or being as personalized as learning everyone's emails on your floor and sending out an email and saying like, this is what, me and the rest of my CAP board are doing for you guys this week or later this month or something like that. So marketing is where it all starts. That's where you want to get the word out and start accumulating people that are like, yeah, I want to go to that. Next would be budgeting. So in this certain environment, budgeting is, I think, super important because if you spend all of your money on one event, then you may not have enough money for later events for your hall, and then they have nothing really to do, and especially now it's going to be even worse for them if they have nothing to do because it's going to get worse and worse situation for them. So I would make sure you have enough for at least 2 or more events. Make sure that you can find alternatives that aren't as expensive as ones you're looking at. If they're just as high quality, look at those options. And of course, as a last ditch effort, you have us. That's why we have these programming grants. That's why we have these advocacy grants. Now we do have them for when you are planning an event that's more than your budget and you need some help. We do not expect you to use those grants immediately to fund your whole event. That's not what they're made for, but we are here to support you with all the events that you do for your hall. And then a huge part of events is inclusivity, which is where you want to make sure that your event is accessible to all people. So such as your marketing not be offensive to certain minorities, or make sure that everyone can access your marketing, and making sure that your event itself is not offensive to any groups or anything like that. Because if so, then obviously you're losing people to go to your event, and then they feel alienated, and their situation worsens, just like as if your marketing doesn't go well. And then accessibility is kind of similar. You want to make sure that your event is accessible to all people. And then lastly is dietary restrictions. So with our little picture in the bottom with some of our pasty board members handing out ice cream, you want to make sure that if you're going to have food at your event, that everyone that comes is able to eat the food that you're providing, whether that be gluten-free, dairy-free, things like that. So we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable at your event. And with that, I will pass it over to Abigna.
All right, so going off of those key programming considerations, thank you, Connor. One of our biggest considerations right now is, of course, safety, and keeping each other safe should be the top priority. So whatever programming that you and your CAB members are putting together, it's important to keep in mind some of these guidelines. So first off, I'm sure all of you know that masks need to be worn, and students need to maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from each other throughout the whole event. Definitely be careful to avoid too much crowding, and that's something to work out with your RHC as well, to talk about lounge capacity so that you don't exceed the max amount of people who are allowed to be in the room at one time based on where your event is going to be. If you're planning on serving food at your event, that's something to keep in mind as well. So make sure all of it is in individually wrapped packages. Examples of this would be snacks that already come individually wrapped, like popcorn and Cheetos and things like that. And anything that doesn't come that way, like cookies or candy, based on like what your event is, make sure that that is kind of taken care of prior to the event, whether that means like working with your CAB to put them in individual wrapped packages. Piggybacking off of the whole food thing, we know that hand washing is super important. So especially if you're running the event, you want to take the responsibility to make sure that you are washing your hands before and after, and also cleaning any hard surfaces like tables that you'll be using during your event. And then make sure to encourage your attendees to do that as well, because we are all working together to try and keep each other safe. In terms of advertising, like Connor said before, you'll have to take some creative avenues with marketing. It is totally fine to make a poster. You'll just have to coordinate with your RHC to have that posted on social media, or if you're getting them printed, how to post those is something to work out as well, whether it's like one person going around and putting them up in the halls and anything like that. So those are the main points. When we share these slides, you'll be able to click on the links at the bottom to get even more specific information about programming and ideas and examples as well to some of those points that I talked about. But yeah, as student leaders, it's important for us to set an example. So let's do that by following all the health regulations and doing our part to protect each other. I yield the floor.
Thank you guys so much, Abby and Connor, for that overview of programming for all of us. Yes, snaps to Abby and Connor in the chat. With that said, now that we've learned a little bit about why we program, some things to think about, and COVID restrictions, we are going to play a game. I'm very excited about this because this is a very fun activity that we have planned for y'all. Has anyone ever heard of the show Cutthroat Kitchen? Hands, maybe? It's on like the Food Network, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to do a Cutthroat Kitchen programming edition game with all of you. So how it's going to work is we are going to split up into teams. I already have the teams set, and I'll let you guys know what those teams are in a second. And we are going to plan a fictional program, right? So something fake, not anything real, just, you know, for the practice. 2 rules with planning the program. It must be inside of your residence hall. It can't be outside on the green or on the moon or on the turf or anything like that. It has to be something that can be planned inside of your residence hall. And you have $250 to plan it. So those are the guidelines for the program that you're going to be planning. If you're familiar with Cutthroat Kitchen, you know there are some curveballs. Curveball number 1. There are going to be components of the program that you have to include. So we're going to spin a wheel. We've dubbed it the splanner, to select 3 program components that have to be included in your idea. So they might be like rubber ducks or popsicle sticks or soap or something like that, right? So you have to have those components integrated into the programming idea that you come up with. You guys are going to have 15 minutes in these breakout rooms, in these teams, to plan your program. And then at the end of the 15 minutes, we're all going to come back together and we're going to discuss the ideas that we come up with. So at that point in time, just be prepared for 1 or 2 of your teammates to review with the group what the program is that you come up with as a team. So those are the general rules. Any questions about those? Feel free to put an X in the chat. Cool. So in addition to breaking out into teams and doing this, there's a second curveball, which are sabotages. So there are 2 rounds of sabotages, right? You guys are going to have 15 total minutes to plan the programs in your broken out teams. After the first 5 minutes, there's round 1 of sabotaging. One team, I'm going to pick it at random, is going to be able to steal a member from the other team. So that's like the first sabotage. So I might go into team 1's chat and say, hey guys, you guys are sabotaging team 2. You have to pick one person from the list of students to steal, to bring onto your team. So that's the first sabotage, and that happens after the first 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes later, we're going to have another round of sabotage, and the other team is going to have to participate in this. And this sabotage is a respin. So that team will have to respin the splanner. Say that 5 times fast. And that team is going to have to give up 2 of the 3 components that they have and integrate 2 new components into their program. So it kind of causes you to think creatively and think on your feet. And then you'll have an additional 5 minutes before we all come back together. So I will walk you guys through the sabotages. I'll be organizing all of it. and I'll be coming into your breakout rooms to help navigate these fun little curveballs. But from top to bottom, right? So split out into teams, plan an event that needs to be small enough to fit in a residence hall. Budget is $250. You have to integrate the ideas, the components that we select for you, which we'll get to in a second, and then you'll have 15 minutes to plan. And then the sabotage rounds will happen at intervals 5 minutes and 10. Any questions?
Ryan, there was something in the chat.
Annabelle says she's in 2 meetings at the same time. No worries. All good, Annabelle. Connor?
So when stealing a team member, that can only be a CAB or CDC member or also an executive board member, because I think that
It
needs
can
to be stated.
also, yeah, it can also be an e-board member if you want to steal an e-board member from another team. So you'll have the chance to do that as well. And I'll explain the rules to the specific team that gets chosen to do that. We're only going to have 2 teams, so it makes things pretty easy. And we have new people joining on the chat. So let me just put them in breakout rooms. I'm going to list out the team names in 1 second. Alrighty. So team A is going to be Connor, Devin, Aaron, Rakteem, Roxana, and Sai. And then team B is going to be Abigna, Annabelle, Chelsea, Griffin, Jordan, and Victoria. So that's team A and team B. And right now we're going to spin the spanner to determine which components are going to be included for those teams. So for team A, which is the team led by Connor, you guys are going to have to plan an event with rubber ducks. Type that out. Somebody note these down. I'm doing it as well in case you forget. Rubber ducks, Skittles, and a projector. So you guys got rubber ducks, Skittles, and a projector. Team B, which is led by Abby, Annabelle, Chelsea, Griffin, Jordan, and Victoria. You guys have forks, nice. More forks? We're gonna respin. Ice cubes, nice. And pumpkins, cool. So to clarify, right, you can add more things than just these 3 components that we've provided you, but these 3 components, just like in Cutthroat Kitchen and in Chopped, need to be integrated into the program in some form. So it is, any questions, right? So team A has rubber duck, Skittles, and a projector, and team B, you guys have forks, ice cubes, and pumpkins. I'm going to send you guys into the breakout rooms right now. And in 5 minutes, I'll come back into the rooms for our first round of sabotaging. Have fun, you guys.
Aha.
All right, friends.
Oh boy.
Sabotage number 1 is beginning. You guys have been selected to steal a team member from team B.
It's working out so well.
I'm going to share the screen, which has a list of all of the team members. And I personally have like a person in mind who I think would like basically kneecap the other team. But I'll
Okay.
let you guys.
I mean, Rock Team is probably on the same page as I am, I feel like.
Are you thinking Abby? Because
I was thinking Abby too.
I'm thinking Abby.
Abby's by far, I think, the best choice to kneecap the other team.
She's just yes.
She's the MVP.
Exactly. It will absolutely cripple them. Besides, we need her on this side.
Is that the decision?
I think that's the decision.
Does everybody agree? Can we do like thumbs up?
Steal Abby? Okay, sounds good. I'm going to go leave this room and send her to this. Actually, wait, am I able to do it without even like what if I can do it randomly? Yeah, I can just move her. That's gonna be so
Just
funny.
out of nowhere.
I can move her out of nowhere. All right, we're doing
And
that.
then just be like,
Oh
she's
my-
been moved to the dark side.
Join us. We have rubber duckies and Skittles.
You're now on this team. I'm gonna go join Team B and tell them what happened.
Bye,
Continue.
Ryan.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Hi, Abby.
Oh,
Okay, so
no. Ripped me away from my entire. Okay, it's fine. I'm just being dramatic.
okay, so I'll give you the rundown.
All right, guys. I think my message was wrong. So Team A stole Abby. So surprise. You guys in 5 minutes though will be able to sabotage them by making them have to spin the wheel and trade out all of their items. So
we
How are
can't
things
steal
going?
her back.
you cannot
That
steal
can't
her
be our
back.
steal.
No, you cannot steal her back, unfortunately. How are
We
things
literally-
going?
We're in the middle of doing stuff with her, and then you just pulled her out.
Yeah, but we'll be fine. We're
Yeah.
planning a very exciting event.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna bot back to the main room. Best of luck, guys.
Back, the
Oh.
bearer of bad
Oh,
news.
boy.
Oh gosh.
Okay,
no.
guys.
He has returned.
So you guys are going to have to trade away 2 of your items, and we're going to spin the wheel again. Although I will give you the option. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to give you the option. You either spin and trade in 2 of your things, or you have to give Abby back to the other team.
We're spinning. We're
Wow. Okay, this is so what's it gonna be, guys?
Wait. Okay, here's my thought. Do we feel confident enough about our program to give up Abby, or do we not feel confident enough that we need to spin?
I don't know. Abby is
Because we feel
involved-
confident enough and we're like,
I will say though, like you won't have a chance to practice your critical thinking and creativity skills if we don't do the spin to win thing.
That's true.
So
Also, Abby is an integral part of our team, even though she literally came
Oh!
5 minutes ago.
I hardly think
Okay, so are you
were
guys
doing really
spinning? You got to make a decision.
I vote for spinning. Hands
I
up
vote
if you
for
vote for
spinning.
spinning.
Spinning, Aaron, Devin, spin. Okay. So we shall spin one more time.
So which one are we keeping, first of all?
Well, I guess we'll talk about it and see what we get and see what
That's
we want to
true.
trade, right?
So new items,
I can write the new item.
forks, which,
Okay.
yes, now you guys have forks.
We have a lot. We have forks now.
We have too many forks.
Forks and crayons. So
Okay.
what 2 things do you want to give away?
So
Guys,
do we want to keep? Go ahead, Abby.
or no, you. My thought was not completely formed.
Okay, my thought is the crayons will work really well with the ducks. The forks are throwing me for a curve here, because we'd have to get rid of the projector, and I think that's too solid of a
It's
thing. But if you do
valuable.
forks and crayons, what the heck are you making with forks and crayons?
You have 30 seconds to choose.
I think we should keep our projector.
Yeah, I think we should keep the projector.
Okay, let's keep our projector and give away the other 2 things.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Rubber ducks and Skittles are gone. Forks and
Alright.
crayons and your projector. That's what you have now. All right. I'm going to give you and the rest of the group maybe like 3 to 4 more minutes. So best of luck, and I'll call you back in a little bit. All right.
Of recipes. Like I don't want recipes.
How we doing, squad?
Doing good.
Yeah,
Sounds like we're having a cool event going on right now. Yeah.
I'm
Hey.
looking forward to hearing it. Yes.
Question, with COVID restrictions, are we still allowed to make our own food for things?
Ooh, make your own food? That's tricky. I would say no, but I'm
Okay.
not 100% on that.
Okay.
Are-
we'll just assume that.
Annabelle, are they allowing you guys to use the kitchens or no?
We're allowed to use the kitchen if we have like masks on.
Okay, then I'd say yes in that case.
Put
Yeah.
some gloves on, call it a day.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I'd
yeah.
say yes then.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys have pumpkins, so at least you have something that's like somewhat edible. I don't know if that's like the route that you guys are going down, but
Yeah, we are. Okay, so
I'm gonna go back to the main room and then call everybody back in a couple minutes. All right, everyone's back. How did that go? Team A and B, feeling good? All right, Team A, would one or two members of your team like to talk about what you came up with using forks, crayons, and a projector?
Absolutely. So our idea is essentially a fork challenge. The idea is we use our projector to show off an interesting model of some sort, maybe perhaps a building made out of some unique material. And with the forks and the wax of our crayons, we task you with creating the structure that we put on with the projector. And our budget is about $150, but essentially, with those $150, we aim to create a night where you can effectively test your architectural skills in building something out of nothing but wax and forks. And whoever has the best and most accurate structure, as determined by the exec board or whoever's judging this, is considered the winner. That is our pitch. Cyan, as the glorious creator of this idea, would you like to add anything?
Nope, that's our idea.
All right, I love to hear it. Team B, let's hear some ideas from you guys using also forks, ice cubes, and pumpkins.
Oh, I will, I guess, lead that. I mean, unless
Someone from one of the cab boards from Team B wanna talk about your idea?
I can go. So we talked about hosting like a fall event, and it would be decorating the forks in like light of the Toy Story, the last Toy Story. So it would be like a decorating forky event, and then we'd have pumpkin lattes and iced pumpkin lattes and pumpkin pies to go. They would be in like little mason jars with the pie and then like an ice cube at the bottom to keep it cool, and then the fork tied at the top like as a to-go thing. So everything would be individually wrapped, and then like it would be a showing of the movie, and then decorating Sporky and pumpkins.
I love that. I love how you guys made the connection using forks in the projector to Toy Story. Like, that is absolutely brilliant. Love these. Yeah, it's really challenging with everything happening right now to like think of like fun things because we're so used to just like not doing fun things. But hopefully this was challenging and a good opportunity for you guys to work with other members of CAB on something. So now that we've kind of discussed like a fake program with all these like wacky components, right? I wanted to also extend this by saying, and relating it back to your positions as members of CAB and like CDC, we have resources for you. So if you're looking to do a program or an advocacy proposal like in your community, we have funds for you guys to use to do those things. Posted on our YouTube channel, and it's on our website as well. There's a full video of me just going through the entire grant process. So if you're interested in applying for some of our resources to use in your communities, it's super, super simple. You just complete the forms that are listed on our website, and we'll get in contact with you in a couple days to help make your idea a reality. So those opportunities and resources are available for you. And then extending it right to our roles on campus, right? I want to give all of our CAB members a chance to maybe do like a quick little round robin and talk about some things that y'all are working on right now. So we call this section CAB Corner. So if someone from James Smith and Thomas McKean and George Reed and Indy want to just like go around on a round robin and just talk about some things that your CAB is working on right now, program related, advocacy related, or just, you know, RSA related, UD related. Any volunteers to go first? Anyone? Annabelle?
One of the things our CAB just had finished doing, we, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, even though it doesn't last too much longer, we had up until like October 31st. And so our group got together on Friday and we made like breast cancer ribbons for people to pick up in the RA office. And so they're like on pins so people can put them on their backpacks, their lanyards, any of those things. And so we just made those super easy for people to access. And we had done that the other day.
That's a really awesome program idea. Like that's a great one. And it integrates like service as well, which is kind of cool. Anything else that you guys are working on right now that's like in the works? James Smith?
We kind of talked about, we were waiting on the results for the polls, but we talked about what we can do with the bulletin boards like in our buildings. So possibly like information about voting registration and mental health like resources on campus. But we were waiting to find out what students would like to see. On the breast cancer awareness pins, Annabelle also made like flyers shouting out our Instagram because we plan on like using that as a platform. So we're hoping like people will interact more with the Instagram so we can find out like what people really want to see.
Yeah, polling your community is like a great idea. That's a great way to like get feedback. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys have taken the initiative on that. Sounds great. Do we have anyone else on the call from Indy or George Reed? I don't think so, right? I think everyone here is James Smith, right? Right, James Smith team? Yeah, okay. All good. Anyone from CDC maybe want to talk about, or like Sai want to talk about some things the CDC is working on, or maybe Rock Team?
Sure. I do not have the world's greatest memory, so I don't remember too much about what we talked about last time, but I remember we talked a lot about, I remember I think Journey brought up a great idea about doing like little care packages for the freshmen, as well as like sending out surveys for online engagement activities. I remember that was one of our big talking points. Another was looking for improvements to the CCSD. I remember that was also another good talking point that we brought up. I don't remember much, but I remember those were the two big ones that we were looking at.
Yeah, I think Sai, right? Rock Team, I think hit on all of the important points.
On those. Good job.
Yeah, so CDC is hard at work on things right now. Looks like CABS, you guys, particularly in James Smith and Thomas McKean, you guys are killing it with some great ideas for programming and advocacy. So keep it up. Just wanted to get a chance to sort of share with the group and learn some things that you guys are working on, which is awesome. From here, I want to yield the floor to Connor to talk about an awesome opportunity for you guys.
Hello guys, I'm back. A lot of me talking tonight, sorry. So I want to tell you guys about a position called the GA representative position, which is part of something called RHLT, which is the Residence Hall Leadership Task Force, which is the working together of the National Residence Hall Honorary, aka NRHH, which is our sister organization, and their two values are service and recognition. We work with them very closely, and we work with them especially with this organization, as seen on the slide, to plan major events for the campus, most notably Campus Residence Hall Month, or as you may hear it sometimes called, CRHM for short, because we love acronyms. And we meet 2 to 3 times a semester, and we would really like someone from one of our GAs, so we're also asking from NRHH to possibly get a member too, to represent you guys, because it doesn't make much sense to come up with these large decisions without you guys being represented. So we would really like someone there to speak for your fellow GA members and even for yourself, that we can get an outside opinion from just us, because when you have 2 e-boards working together, we don't get that outside perspective. So if you guys are interested, the only responsibilities you'd have are attending those meetings and then just talking and being part of the conversation at those meetings. It's a very, very simple job, not a lot of extra stuff. Yes, Rakti.
Is this restricted only to CAB members, or is this for anyone, and just anyone? Like
Ryan, I think we talked about this, but can you refresh me?
Yeah, so they do need to be part of the General Assembly and like formally living on campus at the point in time. That said, Rock Team, like cross our fingers. Hopefully next semester you'll be on campus and you'll have the opportunity to
Yeah.
serve.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah. Thanks for the question though. That's great. It's a small little nick there in the process, so I couldn't remember, and I didn't want to give you the wrong answer. So, if anyone who is on campus and is part of the GA is interested, I have added the link there to go sign up to show your interest. And obviously, like what Abigna said earlier, we send out these slides, so you can just click on it and it'll lead you right there. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Connor. This is a really awesome opportunity. We meet pretty infrequently, only like 2 to 3 times a semester. It's just the RSA and NRHH board smashed together. So it's a great chance for you to get more leadership experience and be part of something even bigger than just being part of RSA. And the form is really simple. Just like you write your name and just like why you're interested. So fill that out. We'll include it in our wrap-up email after the meeting. Yeah, and then I just wanted to give you guys a friendly reminder. We have a combined CDC and standard like General Assembly meeting on Tuesday, November 3rd, which is election day. We are going to be playing a bunch of like games and like just like completely, you know, socializing, reducing the like formal meeting structure down to kind of just like a social meeting and give you guys a chance to hang out and de-stress because election night is going to be a stressful time. So from 7 to 8, we're going to be dedicating that time for you guys so we can all come together and just relax prior to the results being announced for the election. If any of you guys, you know, are living in Delaware or you're living at home and you're trying to like figure out how to vote, you don't have the resources you need, please, please, please let the executive board know. We are, you know, all generally like pretty familiar and like, you know, well informed with like, you know, the political system. So if you have any questions or you need resources to help you vote, we really, really want you guys to take advantage of this like opportunity and this, you know, privilege that you have as an American citizen. So please take advantage of that. And if you have any questions, we're here as resources. Any questions about the meeting tonight? I'm gonna hang on probably until like 8:15 or so if you guys want to talk or you have any questions. But with that said, meeting adjourned. We'll be here to answer any questions you guys have. Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night, guys.